Hi, Trish Holt. How are you today?
I'm good, Allie. How are you?
Wonderful. Welcome to Women in Golf through A.PUTNAM.
Thank you for having me. This is so fun.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We love having you. I feel like you and I have been connected. To me, feels like early on, but I was new to the game at
Right.
the beginning of the year, anyways. But what's also unique is the fact that we've met in person.
I know.
I've definitely had some awesome conversations on here and haven't gotten to physically meet somebody. So it's cool that our paths crossed at the Frisco PGA show. So I got to see you on your like home turf.
That's right. Yeah, we were really lucky to be able to host that. It was really fun.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to talk a little bit more about that because it's so cool what's going on there. And you're a big part of it as the head pro at the PGA Fields Ranch in Frisco.
Yes, I know. I'm really excited.
So
I actually grew up in Frisco, so it's really cool to be a part of that in my
neat.
hometown.
Yeah, so now you're back home too, which makes things even better. And
Yeah,
I saw that you just bought some land and you're planning to
I
build.
did.
Like you're just setting down your roots, like you are
Setting
here.
my roots. That's right.
Oh, congratulations! That's a huge,
Thank you.
huge step.
Thank
That's
you.
awesome. Well, hey, so we always start our conversations just getting to know you and how you ended up where you are. And it's fun to just ask the question of what got you into the game of golf? Like, where did it all begin for you?
So my dad was a big golfer. That was his hobby growing up, and so he got me into the game. And I started playing golf with him probably by the time I was eight-ish. I would ride around in the golf cart with him, and by the time I was 10, I actually really enjoyed it. And so it was something for me and my dad to do together. And so he's the one that really got me into the game, and we still play
That's,
today. It's
I
great.
think, I know we sent you some clothes and you had gotten some cute pictures, and I think you were golfing with maybe your
Yes,
mom and dad.
I was. Yep,
That
family
was
outing.
awesome.
Yep,
Yeah, I love that. Those are some of the most memorable, and it's actually
they
such an
are.
amazing thing that you can do something like that with your dad.
Yes, it is. They're really
So,
lucky. And my mom just started playing,
oh,
so
really?
that's really fun too. Yeah, she just started,
Oh,
so that's
that's
fun too
really
that she can
cool.
now kind of join us. Yeah,
Oh, no kidding. Are you an only child or do you have more siblings?
I am. Just
Oh, that's
me.
awesome. So you get all their attention on the golf course and
That's right.
all
I
that.
do.
Oh,
I
that's
do.
cool. So now she's part of that, which I find
Yes,
so fascinating that that's a game that women in even later in life can get into like that. It's so neat.
it is. It's great. It's one of the best things about golf as a sport is you
Yeah,
can pick it up at any time and
that's
anyone can play.
right, right. That's fascinating. I think that's so cool and probably she loves being a part of that.
Mhm.
That's so neat. So after kind of that younger age of being introduced to golf through your dad and spending that time with him, what was next? Was that like your high school sport? You were all in on golf and then went on to college? Like what was the trajectory of your kind of golf career then?
Yeah, so I played growing up, all through junior golf. I did all the junior golf tours. I played in high school. I received a scholarship to Bowling Green State University in Ohio, and so I
Oh
played
yeah.
4 years there. And then I did an internship. I had a sport management degree, and they required an internship, and so I did that at a country club back in Frisco. And so I did that right before my senior year started of college, and then I knew I was going to come back and start my golf professional career at that point.
Oh my gosh, that's cool. So one, we have the Ohio connection to some degree because I'm up in Cleveland. And my
Awesome.
sister-in-law went to Bowling Green,
Oh
and
my gosh,
yeah,
what a connection.
it is. It's a small enough world that that's
It
the case.
is.
It's funny. I just had some cousins in town, and my aunt also went to Bowling Green, and so um, my like cousin, her nephew had or grandson had given us a bunch of Bowling Green shirts, and it's
Oh
funny
my
because my
gosh.
boys are like, "Where's Bowling Green?" But they're Cleveland Browns colors, like the brown and orange.
Okay, yeah. Yep.
so, so now my kids will be running around in Bowling Green gear. So very small
That's
world.
awesome. That is a small world. You knew
That's
exactly where
cool.
my
What,
school was.
right? And what division is that?
It's a
It
Division
is.
One
That's what I
school.
thought.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
so cool. Are you still in touch with a lot of women and friends that you played with?
Yes, I have a really good group of teammates that we became really good friends, and so we've kind of kept in touch. And they all live up north, so
Oh yeah.
but I've been able to kind of fly up there for all like the major life events, and so I have a
Oh,
really
that's
close
good.
group. Yeah, I know it's really really cool.
That's they probably don't mind the idea of coming down to visit you either.
I'm hoping that they both just had kids, so I'm
Oh,
hoping once their
geez.
kids get a little older, they'll come down
Yeah.
and visit me. Yes.
Yeah, that's a hard phase of life. I have really good college friends too, and it's something you get just inundated with life and kids
Right.
and what that looks like. It's harder to get away, but I'm sure you'll
Yes.
figure it out. Those are
Yeah.
great. Those are great friends, like that stage of your
Mhm.
life. So,
Right.
what year did you graduate from Bowling Green?
I graduated in 2015.
Okay, 2015, and then you
Mhm.
came back to Frisco. And were
Mhm.
you working in this space, or were you playing?
I worked on the business side, so I knew that I was
Okay.
going to go into a business career in golf,
Hmm.
and so I I started my assistant professional career at Stonebriar Country Club, which is in Frisco, and I
Yeah.
worked there for about 2.5 years before I received an offer to move to Northwood Club in Dallas. And I spent the next 2 years there as an assistant before I got the call to return to Stonebriar as a head professional. And then I worked there for another 2 years, and then I was lucky enough to get the opportunity to be the head professional at Lakewood Country Club, which is in Dallas.
Yeah.
Amazing club. I absolutely loved it there. The members were the best group of people.
That's
And then I got the call to come to PGA Frisco, and that was one that you just can't turn down. So,
no, no,
so I
and like
moved
what?
around a little bit.
Yeah, you did, and I think that's kind of the name of the game, right? In terms
It
of the
is.
industry and the nature of it. So, I mean, that's incredible. So you were, I mean, it seems like in that time span, I mean, you had a lot of growth as a professional woman in the sport into a pro position is incredible, and I think it's
Thank you.
so neat to see that more and more, and I think it's exceptionally special that you're there at kind of PGA headquarters and like the growth of Frisco. It's so neat.
It is really cool. It's amazing to see that facility built there when I lived, when I was going to school in Frisco,
Oh,
there was
sure.
nothing there. And now it's just
Right.
this like mecca of golf. Just like
Yeah.
seems like it popped up overnight. It's so amazing.
I know it'll explode. Like, I feel like between my first time being to Frisco here at the Frisco PGA show in August, from a, brand and buying standpoint, I mean, the facilities look crazy and
Hmm.
had so much fun, and the experience there was so neat to be kind of on site and not feel like you had to leave. But I'm sure between this year and next, just the development around it will probably just keep exploding. And you guys are working on a new course out there, aren't you?
We're set, but the area around it is a huge community that they're building. So all the
Oh, that's
construction that's
right.
going on around the course is they're building a really high-end neighborhood and community. So there's going to be a
That's
lot of
right.
growth up there.
Yeah. Yeah, to service that,
Mhm.
right, the housing and market and all that. That's
Yep.
so neat. So how you ended up buying land and you're living there, are you very far away from work, or will you be?
So it's going to be about 12 minutes away. It's going to be
Oh,
amazing.
sweet.
I'm so looking forward to it. Yeah, I drive in from Dallas, so I mean,
Oh,
it's not a
yeah.
terrible drive, but we spend some long days up there, and we have morning activities. And the different thing about PJ Frisco is that
Sorry.
it's okay. The different thing about PJ Frisco is so we're open 7 days a week, but we also, with the district area that includes the swing and the dance floor, we're open late at night too.
Yeah.
And so we do a lot of evening events as well as morning events. So it'll be nice to be closer up there,
Oh,
so I can maybe go home or go get some
absolutely.
dinner and then come back. So.
Oh, no kidding. So what are your general
Mhm.
hours like? Like, when are you there?
Oh
And
gosh.
I'm sure it varies, but I think that's one interesting thing about your position, and anybody in that like very customer facing aspect of the business
Mhm.
is that you work a lot.
We do. Yeah, the job kind of becomes your life, which
Hmm.
especially with, opening a new property.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to take us a full year before we're really in a pattern where we feel really strong about the operation. We're in growth phase
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
So until we get through, I think, a full year, it'll be a lot of hours, it's a lot of work, but I have an incredible team that's all on board and, 100% wants to be there.
Yeah.
So that makes it really lucky to spend time every day with people that really want to be there and enjoy what they're doing. So that makes the time go by a lot faster.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, it does. So what's the structure like? And I'm just curious with the PGA Frisco, like the campus, are you, like, if you ever do you do any coaching, instructional? Yeah, I figured you did.
Yes, I teach. It's more in my free time now. So my job is very operational based, and so I oversee, our team and our staff that really operates the golf facility. But teaching is really important to me. It's how I feel like I stay very connected to the game, and so I try to teach some, not nearly as much as I used to, with how big the operational duties are. But I do love to teach, and I love to grow the game in that way.
Oh, that's fun. And do you get to do it over in the new teaching facility, or are you typically over at Fields Ranch doing that?
So not yet. They actually just opened the teaching and coaching center.
Oh, cool.
So they are still they'll have a team that just operates that facility. But then our professional staff teaches and coaches a little bit as well. Not nearly as much as they will, obviously, because that's their full-time position and we're more ops-based.
Yep.
But we'll use the same practice facility to coach in.
That's so neat. And then is Field Ranch is members only?
So we have Fields Ranch includes 2 championship golf courses, the East Course and the West Course. They're actually both open to the public, and to the resort and to our membership. So it's a little confusing in that we service those 3 different entities. And so we have a membership, and it's called Club 1916. And then we have the resort on property, so we have resort guests, and then we're also open to the public, as well as our other PGA constituents as well. So we have a lot of groups coming to play at PGA Frisco.
Oh my gosh. Yes. I don't doubt it. And it's obviously a destination spot for just the sport of golf.
Yes.
So I can't imagine what the scheduling looks like for that.
That's what I'm in charge of for golf. Is so my specific role. We do have 2 head professionals at PGA Frisco, and so one is in charge of the membership experience, and the other, which is me, I'm in charge of the logistics and organization of the golf operation. So I'm the one that coordinates and schedules and plans.
Oh my
goodness. I spend most of my time coordinating between all the groups that are going to be there and make sure our team is ready to service them.
That's amazing. So kind of the glue that binds it all together and keeps probably people sane, because it's just the organization. I'm sure you couldn't do it without it. Okay, so obviously there's something to be said about a woman being in a professional, like golf professional role. Has it been hard getting to that point, or do you feel like there's been any hurdles, or do you think the game, the sport, the industry has changed where this is just so welcomed and kind of natural progression for your career and just women in general?
So I think that, more women are really starting to join the game of golf. I think it's becoming more popular. And so for me in my career, you don't see a ton of women in leadership positions in golf just yet, but I think that's really starting to change. So I think I've been very fortunate for all the doors that have opened for me. And honestly, I think personally it's helped me a little bit to be, to have a different voice for the game. I think that's actually opened a lot of doors for me. And obviously I've taken advantage of it and I've worked really hard, but I don't think that that's hurt me in any way. I think it's actually helped me differentiate myself. And the community of golf professionals and PGA golf professionals in particular have been incredibly opening and welcoming and inclusive. And so I feel like I've been able to create a really great network, especially since I'm from here. And my entire career has been based in North Texas. And so that really helps that now I've gotten to really know all the professionals in our industry that are located here. And now with the PGA headquarters moving here as well, I'm starting to get to know a lot of people on that side. And so I think that that's really helped. And I think that honestly, networking is the most important thing that you can do in this industry in particular. And so I think that just having that community of people has really helped me move forward in my career a lot faster than I would have expected.
Yeah. And I think I've found that that's the nature of the sport anyways, is that it's rooted in networking and, I mean, beyond business, it's like on a personal level, but then also in business outside of the golf industry. You know, it's like people utilize the sport to do just that. And you're in like the heart of it, being, you know, utilizing your network and meeting people. And when that comes easy and natural to you, you've got a leg up anyway. So you're a very kind, like sweet human being. So that helps for sure. And do you feel like you've had the opportunity to mentor other women that are trying to get into the business? And I'm sure you've got probably a circle of women that work at Frisco in Fields Ranch, but do you have any opportunities or outlets for mentoring other women in the sport?
So I think right now I have a network of female professionals that are in this area that we've become really close and really good friends, and that's more of a community of just us supporting each other and talking about, you know, what we kind of go through on a day-to-day basis, and us helping each other to progress our careers. We're starting to see some more interest in people starting to join the business, and so for me, what I've been able to do so far is to just kind of share my story and kind of my journey of how I got into this area, and then I've gotten to share with a lot of people while they're trying to figure out what area of golf do they want to go into. So golf operations is not for everybody, but there's a ton of different avenues in golf in order to build a career, and so being able to connect with not just women, but everybody that's interested in pursuing a career in golf. I've had a lot of opportunities to kind of talk through the different avenues that I've seen and that I've considered, and share a little bit of exactly what I do so that they have a better understanding. And so I've gotten to do a lot of that.
Oh, that's great. And that helps in any industry, obviously, to have somebody that's created a path of their own, and everybody's experience is different, and it's so nice to be able to meet people like yourself that can weigh in from a different angle and all of that. Have you met Courtney at For Hire? Have you met them?
No, not yet.
It's neat. I'm going down there it's there in Georgia, outside of Georgia. They're putting an event together, and it's for FORE Hire, and they're
cool.
Yeah, they're helping ladies find a career within the sport. And it's really neat. So they're putting on this 3-day event in November, beginning of November. So I'm going to go down there, and I'm helping from like a brand sponsorship. Just they've got a group of 4 ladies that kind of run it. So they'll wear some A.PUTNAM stuff all 3 days, because they've got a little like casual day, like intro day, and then a golf day, and then a business day. So they do almost like career fair kind of setup.
Yeah.
And I think it's really
That's
cool.
awesome.
And I really coordinates well with kind of what you're doing, and I think other women are too in this sport, just because it's so fun to hear everybody's story. And that's like this women in golf thing has turned into such a fun thing, because, you know, we've had artists on, we've had golf architects, we've had players, we've had like pro, like your first PGA pro, which I think is so cool. So
thank you.
But I think it just really highlights all the opportunities in the sport for women. So it's really neat. And I'm so thankful that you could share your story today.
And I think that's, absolutely. I think that's great that I think that's one of the biggest things, is that a lot of people don't know what's available out there. We don't know what a career in golf might look like. And so I think the more opportunities we have to share what we do, I mean, that's what's really going to grow our industry.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And it's fun. I have always been a casual golfer, so it's really fun for me to now be just like inundated with golf, and it's grown my love for the sport even more. And I still remain a very casual golfer out of sheer lack of time to play, but but when I get to, I'm like,
it's a huge time commitment.
It is. I always say, I was like, I got to get all my boys involved so that we have an excuse to go golf on the weekend.
That's
for 4
right, you
hours.
do.
Yes. But we're headed in that direction, but it's a really neat sport. So we asked like a few kind of fun questions, just like splatter in kind of the fun things within the interview. So I always have to ask the clothing question. So what is your preference on like off course, you're not golfing, kind of what's your clothing aesthetic or look that you typically go for?
I'm always in golf clothes, so there's really not opportunities to wear much other
You're not
than
the
golf
only
clothes.
woman on this that has said that.
We spend so much time in the game, so when I finally, I'm away from the game, I'm not wearing golf clothes. I like a lot of neutrals, a lot of really classy kind of classic pieces, nothing too loud, nothing super, super bright.
Do you have like a go-to spot that you shop for just your normal like lifestyle clothes? Are you one of those people that just like randomly walks through Targets and finds the gem in Targets, or like I'm all over the board?
I really like Madewell. They have some really pretty pieces that are just kind of really neutral.
They are.
I like that store a lot.
Yeah.
Other than that, I really don't shop a ton for stuff, anything outside of golf, which is kind of sad.
Isn't that funny?
Right.
I've had a lot of people ask me this recently about the brand and me. They're like, you must love to golf. You must golf all the time, starting a golf clothing brand. And I'm like, actually, it's kind of the opposite in the sense I love golf, but I don't play a lot. And so I always, like complete opposite of you, I would buy golf clothes and they'd sit in my closet. I'd wear them 3 times a summer and then I'd go to next year. And unfortunately, I like buying clothes. So I'd be like, I need a new little golf outfit. I'm going to golf a lot more this year. And then I don't. And it just sits and like collects dust in my closet. So that's what kind of spurred all this, where I was like, I feel like you could make some golf clothes that could be a bit more functional, like in your daily wardrobe.
Right.
So it's kind of funny that I hadn't really thought of it that way, but the more people ask me about it, I'm like, it's actually just out of a need I had, that I was sick of not being able to wear my golf clothes more often. So it is funny that it kind of came to that. But to your point, you're yes, in the sport all day long, like looking the part and playing the part. So that is so different. And are you, it's funny because I think it's neat to see hear the trends about golf clothing regionally. So I think in your area, do you feel like more people are buying kind of the typical patterned, colorful golf clothing, or do you think it's swayed at all to those customers that like kind of the neutrals and something a little quieter?
I think right now, just because I think there's a huge opportunity in the golf market in women's apparel, because I think there's not a ton of huge brands. I mean, we have our core brands, and so ladies that play golf, we have the core ones because those are the ones that have been around for a long time. So I think there's the
RLX, like
exactly
the staples.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of opportunity really to add to that market.
Yeah.
So at least in our area, we see a lot of ladies that are going to wear a lot of like sun sleeves or like long sleeve shirts that have sun protection just because it's so hot down here. Yeah. And so a lot of the brands that make those clothes, their prints
the
are
Ivy
a little
Cools and the
they're a little brighter just naturally, and so I think people kind of gravitate toward that because they want something with sun protection. I don't know. I think the younger generation is starting to wear clothes that are a little bit more like hip versus kind of the classic kind of, rigid pieces. And so I think we're starting to see some style enter the golf market
and
too.
like the evolution of it. It is. And I think it's cool to go to these shows like the PGA Frisco show. And I always tell people that the industry is so small. Really, it's so small.
It is.
And it's so cool to see all these women's brands pop up. And I've only been here a year, and I think there's always somebody new. Just recently, like over the last few months even, there's something, brands you see pop up on Instagram like, oh, here's somebody new. And it's interesting because I think we're all coming about it from a different angle, and it's great because I think women need those options. And I think that's the hardest part when I talk to a pro shop, that a women's buy is what, maybe 20 to 30% of a pro shop's revenue. And so, but then you constantly hear, the staff being like, yeah, our women are always asking for something new and different. But that's the nature of how women are, from body shape, sizes, age, even demographic or geographic location. There's so much that weighs into people's decisions about clothes in general. And women, we can't wear, men are in golf polos and khaki, and shorts, right? Or pants, a button up. They're very narrow focused on what a man's gonna wear. So when you look at the golf space, I think there's so much to offer to women and meet a lot of different demands. But it's, I'm sure, hard from a pro shop standpoint to accommodate that and finding those brands that maybe span a couple of different demographics and things like that. So
right,
it is.
That's one of the things that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that's one of the things I think that's great about your brand from resort to sport is that those items, you can wear them to dinner too,
right.
Or some of the pieces that you've sent me, I'll wear those to meetings because I need to look a little dressy. But as soon as the meeting's over, I have to run out to the lesson tee. You know, so it's finding things that can fit and look, classic enough for a meeting or for a dinner.
Right.
But then they're also functional.
Thank you so much. That's a compliment in itself, because that's the goal, really. And it's cool because we found women like yourself that have this professional requirement to look put together. And I think your role is a perfect example of that, where you still have to function throughout your day.
Right. For
me, it's kind of that, being a businesswoman and being put together, even though half the time it's on camera. But then I had to run around with my kids and have no time to, I'm sorry, I just froze. I have no time to change sometimes. And I go from a work call or work meeting to picking up kids and going to football practice. So it's just so I think it's so neat. And we're finding too, even in kind of that broadcast kind of journalism area, where there's people that are in the news or sports world, camera ready, but might have to be on the golf course or all these things where I would love to look put together and not in my golf uniform kind of thing. So it's been so fun to see how those garments serve people in just so many different ways. And I love, obviously, you're so sweet in here. I've caught you in your crew neck and all of that, which is so fun. I know. And it's we appreciate the support. And I tell people all the time, I'm when you get stuff, don't feel like you have to wear A.PUTNAM head to toe. I don't. And I love.
Oh, no, I love it though.
Right? I know. That's a fun part of just wear it with a pair of jeans, or I don't know. It's so fun to catch people now in their gear, and it's, I don't know. Yeah. It's so good. But we appreciate all that support on your end. So, another just fun question. Do you have any superstitions as it comes to, I guess, golf, or just in general? Are you a superstitious person?
I have a ton when it comes to the golf course. Oh my gosh, yes. I think every golfer would be lying if they said they don't have a golf superstition. But I've got a bunch of just weird ones, you never walk through the middle of a tee box. You always walk around the tee box. That's one of them for me. When I mark my ball, I have to always have the mark facing the hole. I can't be sideways. If I move my ball marker over and I have to move my ball out of the way for somebody, I have to flip it over, and then that reminds me that I have to flip it back.
Oh my God.
If I walk past a pitch mark that somebody's left, I have to fix it. Otherwise, I'm convinced, I'm going to miss my putt if I don't fix that pitch mark that wasn't mine that I just walked by.
That's so
I have a million.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
I have a million.
Oh my God, that's amazing. I'm so glad you shared those, because I think it's so funny. And some people are nah, not really. So I love that.
Yeah, a lot of people are that doesn't matter. But
right. Oh my gosh, that's too cute. So what about kind of what's next for you? And obviously you've been in this role for how long at Fields Ranch?
I've been here just over 6 months.
Oh my gosh, so new.
It's gone by so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's brand new. It's gone by really fast.
Have you?
I'm hoping to be here for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping to be here for a while. We have a huge calendar of major championships that are coming through PGA Frisco that I really want to be a part of. I mean, that's something really unique that, I mean, most people, I mean, they might get to be a part of one or two. The fact that we have, 12 slated that's incredible. So
that is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, and I'm sure that's a total team effort pulling all of that together.
And it's really cool because I get to work with like the PGA of America, and then us as the host site, and so I get to work with different teams, in our industry to help put on this huge event. So it's at least that's what we got to do for the KitchenAid Senior PGA, which we had just opened when we're hosting that major championship. So that was really cool and so different for me to get to be a part of.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm looking forward to getting to do more of that.
That's going to keep you busy, the 12 events.
Yes.
Insane.
Yes.
So I'm sure, like you said, with 6 months, you're hoping, this is kind of the long game for you, right? Like this is where you want to be, and then is there any part of you that, because are you newlywed?
No, not yet.
Okay, I wondered. I couldn't
yet.
remember if you had been married or not. So you're a young little thing. Like you've got plenty of time, and you're in this position right now that like you're putting your career, first and high on your list, and you have the ability to do that, and it's really kind of a great time of your life to do that.
Be able to focus on this.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, I can't thank you enough for the time today, and it's fun to finally get a few moments with you because I know we've just been in passing or DMing or something, so it's fun to just get to know you a little better, and I don't know, it'll be a fun connection. I appreciate it.
Yes.
Awesome.
Absolutely. It's been very, very fun.
Well, we wish you the best of
I'm
luck.
excited.
Oh, go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited to see where your brand takes you because I think it's doing wonderful. So I'm excited to keep watching it.
Oh, I appreciate that. Support means the world to us, and we can't wait to just show some of this and follow you along over at PGA Frisco, PGA of America, like all of that. You're going to be in the spotlight, like your team, everything about it. So we're excited to keep following you along, and hopefully I see you before the next PGA Frisco show.
Yes, I know. I'm sure we'll cross paths at some point. Like you said, it's a small industry.
It is. I keep thinking I've got to find enough girlfriends at like a weekend away at one of those little villas, like right off of the putting green.
In the little ranch
homes. Oh
homes.
my gosh, I was like, how fun would that be?
Really fun. And you don't even need to leave the property.
I know,
everything you need is right there.
You don't. I think it'd be so much fun, but I'm going to keep you in mind when I figure that out.
Yes, please do.
I'll take a lesson from you.
Trips.
Right?
Awesome. I would love that.
I know, I would need it. Awesome. Well, Trish, thanks so much again for joining us on Women in Golf.
Pleasure.
I'm sure we'll talk and keep connected.
That sounds great. Thank you, Allie. Appreciate it. Okay, bye.
Bye.